Yeah. No, I don't. No, I don't want to take it back all the way back here now. It's in there. When are you coming back? When are you coming back? Okay. Well, can you leave it there? Yeah, we'll leave it there. When you come back, get the papers and go. Okay. Okay. Okay, folks, good morning there to you, or good afternoon, or good evening, whatever takes your fancy in this wonderful artistic world of ours. Now, and it's to Laura from McConnell, Pennsylvania, Marianne Burrows, good morning, good evening actually, Marianne, from where you are, Annette Baber, and good morning, or good afternoon, Dee McMillan, Linda, hello Linda. She couldn't sleep, she said. Please be watching a live stream. Linda, it must be about 4 o'clock in the morning there in the Tidy Islands, surrounded by fish. Linda's looking after the workshop in Flatford next year that I'm going to hold. And Flatford is where Constable painted his Haywain painting and a lot of other paintings around that whole area there, that Bergholt area. East Bergholt and so on. It's a beautiful area. The light is fantastic. Sago painted there, Munnings, all the great... The East Anglia School of Art, right? It's an identifiable body of artists who roamed around that lovely landscape and painted the most beautiful and magnificent paintings ever seen. And it really gave birth to an identifiable and standout school of painters. And those ones I mentioned are some of them. But there were a lot of good artists there. Gainsborough painted not far from there. He lived in a little hamlet not far from Flatford as well. And I've been to that place. And I've roamed all around that countryside. And it is magnificent in summer. In winter it's a bit dodgy, but in summer it's okay. Marlene Stevenson. So it's a thank you to Linda Series there for looking after that workshop, and I think all the positions are gone, Linda told me. She only had it up for about a week, and then everyone snapped them up. So I'll have to do a song and dance to make it sort of entertaining in between the paintings, I'd imagine. Roseanne, good morning Roseanne from New Jersey, and Roseanne's looking after the Robert Hagan painting group, the artist group, and we're doing walking our way through a painting at the moment, and we're going to put a figure in there soon, but the next step in this one is to do the waves. So we're going to look at the structure and the mechanics of the waves and then work out an engineering direction that we can apply with the paintbrushes and the paint. So there we are, and good morning to Rita. And good morning to Rita as well, who's in Wisconsin, where all the cheese is made. And she does not live in a cave, so I've been told. Teresa Howell, good morning. Teresa, Betty Seifert, hi all. Leslie Newman, hi from Arkansas. Barbara Kaufman, hi Barbara. Pat Calvo, good night from Argentina. Well, there we go. That's a lovely part of the world. I was going to do a TV show down there, part of the Splash of Colour series. I never got to do it though. Well, there we go. That happens. Marlene Stevenson from New Zealand. Hi Marlene, good to have you with us. Sherry Hawkins, Marianne Burrows, Roseanne Gann, Marcelo. Hi Robert, hope you're doing better now. I am, but I've got a sore I was working in the garden the other day, doing a little bit of clipping, right? And then I was on an incline. Now, I'm not a goat, although I've been told I'm a bit of a billy goat at times, but I'm not a goat, so I don't have those nimble hooved, cloved feet, or hooves, that the mountain goats have. And so I sort of backpedal down the slope, and I must have jiggered my back a little bit, and that triggered a fever pitch. So about 2 hours later, I'm in bed. And I thought, now what's gone wrong? So anyhow, that's the way. That's a testament to bad gardening and bad self-help. Sherry Hawkins, so there we are. Jeffrey Whitler from New Orleans. Hi, Jeffrey. So Marcella, yes, I'm doing better, thank you. And Laura from McCundle, Pennsylvania. Yeah, I said hello to Laura. There we go. Now, who else is coming in here? Mary Ann Burrows, thank you. We love you in Canada from Artists in the Village Non-Profit Society. Well, thank you, Mary Ann. I'm a non-profit individual myself, but every now and again we need to have food. So I suppose the drive for capitalism sort of surges in when we all get hungry. And that's what's going to happen in the world the way we're going. Eventually we'll start eating each other, right? If we keep on pinging each other with these crazy ideologies, we aren't going to do very well. And there's not much hope for any of us. And Teresa, just saying hi, Robert. Health issues with my husband. Haven't got to watch. Will when I can. Keep up the good work. Teresa, I hope your husband gets better. Give him my regards and best wishes, please, and a rapid return to good health. Trevor Plain, looking forward to good lesson. We're going to do one. We're going to change our mother colours. Okay, so Mary Ann, let's paint. Trevor, I go. You haven't ordered a magnifying glass. Please do, so we can make our goal. Share it with your ask groups or Facebook. Just make it public. Teresa, thank you, Teresa. We need to do this. If you belong to a group, right, you have a little group, then try to get together and buy the Magnifier. There's a deal in there, you buy 10, and it comes out at a pretty good deal. It's $28 or something each, so which is good. Now, so someone said, would you please start painting? Now, if that was in a class, and I had someone put their hand up and say, please start painting, or if they didn't say please, I'd go down and give them a clip under the ear, right? You do not complain when someone is giving you something for nothing, right? Remember that. Right, now, so, I'll come back to this painting in a moment. That's a very good painting. So what we're going to do today, we're going around this way, John. So we're going to do a beach painting with a difference. I'm going to switch mother colours. I want to show you something. We're going to try switching some colours in and out and see what happens to the whole feel and atmosphere of the painting. See if the engineering side the technical application side still holds true. At what point do we hit those nice greys? That's the issue. When we start to move in and out of other reds and blues, we need to find a grey in there. Is the grey a real grey, or is it a sort of fakey grey, a dinky grey? That's the problem. So I've got over there. I've got a what is it? A rose. I've got a yellow ochre. I've got a phthalo blue, a phthalo, P-T-A-T-H-A-L-O. Now, whoever came up with that spelling, I don't know, because it doesn't phonetically sound right. And I'll put in a light red just as a saver. We're going to see if we can get away with that, plus white. Right. We're going to see if we can get away with that as our mother colours. If we can, well, it'll take us in a different sort of direction. But if we can't, we're going to bring this one back in. Just see how important light red can or is in a painting. But it really depends on what we're trying to do in a painting. Okay? So, here we go. Over here, John. There's our brushes up, there's our colours. Phthalo blue, look at that. Look at that colour there, will you? Now this is what we need to do, is have a good look at it. That's a very, very powerful colour. In fact, within an hour, that colour will be all over the floor here and over the walls and all over me. It sort of jumps out of the tube and jumps out off here. It's that powerful and that tricky to handle. But look how it breaks down. See that breaking down now? Right. So, let's look at this other one. Let's look at the rose and see how rose breaks down. Look at that. Right? So, we need to understand what happens to the paint, how powerful it is on its own, and how much white we need to add to it to break it down, to get it to move into the lighter tones. Those of you in the art group, when you did the sky painting, you added white. Those of you who went outside and painted using the mother colours found that you would have learned how the colours behave. Well, this is how they behave here. Now, let's look at how yellow ochre behaves. We need some more white. So up goes the white. So the first step is learning how to mix a colour. Now here's the yellow ochre. It breaks back very quickly. See how quick it breaks back? This one I had to add a lot of white to. This one I had to add a whole bunch of white to get it to start to move into the lighter areas. All right. And this is down, here's our light red. Now remember what... Look at that. Now, so there's our colours. So here's our foreign colours. Hitherto we've used this for a dress, for some sort of fabric. It's been a local colour, but now we're going to try and use it as a mother colour, a holding colour, a foundation colour. So let's make a start and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to put in a bit of a cloud area first. So our cloud area is going to be a bit of that and that. So we're going to try and work with these colours only. Here we go. Now normally what you do is just leave that as a bare area, but I'll just put it in. I'll put something in where the cloud might be. Some of it pretty wild. This is a switch-in technique, folks. Okay. I don't really know what's going on much there, but we'll find out in a moment. So we've got a big cloud area there. Okay, let's try and put the sky behind that. I'm going to make it into the sky about midday, about halfway down the horizon, from the zenith to the horizon, about 45 degrees out there. It switches in. Those of you who found it went into a bit of a blue-green, a cerulean. So I'm sort of mixing a cerulean colour there using those two, yellow ochre and the phthalo blue. And we'll put that in there, like that. And we'll sneak a little bit more blue in as we get to the top, as we get to the zenith. There we go, that's the one I want. Okay, need some more white. See how much I'm going through the white now, because these colours are very, very strong. High chroma, they call that. Those of you, they're the purists. We've got to pay attention to the purists out there, who I get a little bit tired listening to, I must say, who are more, you know, there's a thing about preciousness in people. This preciousness. Or you can't do that because of this. And no, you don't say that about my painting, because I get offended. I don't know how many people I've met over the years who simply, they simply can't handle a little bit of comment. Can't handle anything. Anyhow, down we go. So there we are. So we're just moving along now. Now, I'm going to swing this into high gear now. Now, what should I do? I'm going to start to push these two together. Look at that colour there. Now, where am I going to put that? Let's say I put it down to here. Start to shape. That is really the shadow colour of the cloud. But look out, it's a beautiful colour. Absolutely beautiful. Look at the nice little bounces around in there we're getting. So those of you who are looking for a different sort of sky, then you can see between the rose, permanent rose, and the phthalo blue, we've got some really, really nice stuff. So let's push it over here again. Our horizon is going to be down here. This will be a beach one. I just want to... The beach is good because it gives us an opportunity to really explore the power of the sky. I'm going very deep there now. Now you'll say, wow, that's certainly different. Have you ever seen that sort of sky from the beach? You have. We all have, actually. And that'll be our waves and so on down there, which we'll come to in a moment. Now, one of the things we always do is walk back and look and see how it's going. Those of you who have, I've got to say something about the paintings that are up for auction. Look, I tried to do what I thought was the right thing by sending them by registered post. But it turns out from here to, say, America or even Australia, it seems to be taking, sometimes they tell me at the post office it's going to be 2.5 weeks, which is about 14, 15, 20 days, up to 20 days. But some of them are taking about 6 weeks, and people are rightly so getting upset by it. And I get upset too, because I go to the post office, lodge a complaint, and then they take it, and then I've got to wait for about a week before I get a response back from that complaint. So in the meantime, everyone gets frustrated. So there's one going off to Justin Smith at the moment, and Justin is rightly complaining about the time it's taking. And as I said to Justin, and Justin said, it's a lack of professionalism on my behalf. Well, I'll pass that comment on to the postal system of Thailand, because maybe they're more responsible for that delivery. I actually don't carry the parcel to the airport and fly to the destination and hand deliver. That's not what I do. If you want me to be totally and utterly professional and you want me to deliver these hand to you, then I'm more than happy to absorb your contribution to the air ticket for me to do that. Okay, so otherwise I'm now going to send them by EMS, which is the logical, more expensive way. It's about $50 it costs from here to send it anywhere in the world. So I'm asking people when they buy now to put in $20 towards the shipping. I absorb the $30. So there we are. So everyone doesn't get upset. I don't want to get upset people around me. I'm sick of it. All right. Let's get back to this and see what we can do here. I'm going to swing a bit of red up in here. Push that. A little bit of yellow in there. That's quite nice. Now you can see that's all very thin. But there's some lovely colours in there. Nice big lifts and puffs of clouds and so on. But what we don't have is that nice soft grey. See, I'm trying to find the grey now. I'm pushing these clouds up a bit higher. Slowly working grey into them. Soften them down a little bit. That red's rather nice. Let's put that in there a bit more. This is just sort of painting off the top of your head, really. A little bit more red over here. Like the sun's just glinting across. This is a sort of afternoon. You know how the sun sort of shines across and leaves pockets, it picks up pockets of clouds and puffs and so on. And you still have areas that are broken open, that break open in the distance. Let's add a little bit of white to that now. But see, that's just a very thin coat. Now, look how strong that pink is. Absolutely powerful. There's some nice creamy. Now we've got some very thick paint on there. Come in here, Jock, we'll see how thick this paint is. You get little flighty little bits of puffs of cloud sort of drifting in and out. Change your direction of the stroke so you don't get repetitious. Use the edge there. There's a nice little bit of light I put up in there. Trickling down, a bit of a catching the sun's rays. And then right down in the bottom down here we can put a little bit of a, see that in the horizon down there, sort of picking up a little run of well, there's a different sky for you folks. So has the mother colour worked? Well, it has. It has, but I'm a little bit it's very dinky. It doesn't have the subtlety of that grey that we get from putting our light red in there. Our light red would be killing this one down here and make it into more of a grey. All right. So the experiment, by changing our mother colours, has turned up a pretty nice sky. There's nothing wrong with that sky. It's pretty good. We can just give it a little bit more punch along. Where do we need something over here? Get a nice. There we go. Grey it down there. We can't have too much colour. Okay, chisel that down like that. There we go. Okay. So, while Jock's going over that, I'll have a moment rest and I'll consider what I'm going to do next. Jock will hover over that. Have a good look at that, Jock. Now, what are we saying here? Gorgeous, awesomeness, it's gorgeous. Michael, Connie Payson said it's gorgeous. Well, there you go. Well, it's different, you see. The point about this is that we can change those mother colours, but don't go into a whole range of colours. I'm still working 3 only. And that is tested. So it tests your understanding of what you're painting, the subject matter, which is the clouds and the sky, and still trying to get the roll of the horizon, from the horizon to the zenith, that cone. Have I got that there? Well, yes, I have. But I'm not very happy with this. This is very, 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 it's not believable for me. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to have to bring in the light red again. So here we go. It's just too blue. So let me put a bit of light red and in with that phthalo and see what we get out of that. There's a grey there. Now, is it a warm grey or cool grey? Let's make it into a cool grey. A little bit more of that. Right, now let's put that in there and see what it looks like. Right, all of a sudden we've got a grey. We've got control back. Does it need to go everywhere? Well, we're going to find out in a moment. But look how that now makes it more realistic. Much more realistic. We'll just put it in amongst these clouds here. It's just drifted in. We'll still keep the other blue in there. We're not going to destroy it. But we're going to move this one in and out now and just make it a little bit more realistic. Not sure about the yellow there. I'll kill that a little bit, I think. Yeah, I'll kill it all. And just push this grey up into the sky. Right. Now we're cooking with gas. Now that is a better feel of the sky. Right. Does everyone agree with that? A little bit more over here. It's still a little bit too dinky. Too sort of chocolatey box. Too brittle, maybe the word would be. Just dragging that, just greying it back just a fraction. Now what have we got? Now that is a nice sky, I've got to say. So what did we do? We used these 3 first, and then we retreated to the light red in order to get that feel, get that perspective in the scene and to get a more realistic look about it. But it's got a nice atmospheric feel to it. There's some good colour in there. We're finding colours that we couldn't find before with our mother colours. We couldn't get this lovely pink in here, and the transition from that slight green-blue into a pink and then into an orange and then into a yellow. What a lovely move of colours they are there. Come in on that part here, Jock. This is really, really pretty in here. This up here, that was our phthalo blue with a little bit of yellow ochre. And look at that, it's a lovely colour, absolutely beautiful. And then we come down here into a pink, which is our permanent rose, with a little bit of the blue. And that takes into a nice mauve, a gentle lilac, and then we transition into a slight orangey colour into here, and then we come down to more of a yellow ochre, a little pulse of yellow ochre here. And look at this nice sweep in here. That's beautiful. It just breaks across there. And over here we've got our little puffs. And this is nice in here. A little space area in there where you've got that sort of distance coming back through between the clouds. So it's a light, atmospheric, generous sky, I'd call that. These are the things that like in for example, where Constable painted, and Edward Sago, when I was in England many years ago, I've been back many times, I visited there frequently, looked at his paintings and looked at the atmospheric conditions that exist in East Anglia. And you have that look. Sago was able to put this down in very bold strokes. Right. He didn't really find these pinks, but they're there. They're there. Fred Wilson says much better. Mary Ann Burrows said cool grey. Loving the dimensions of the cloud, Angela Smith. I want to learn to paint ghostly apparitions. Gina Bradley Potter. Gina, find a ghost first. Find a ghost. When you do, let me know. Roseanne said that's just lovely. That's good. And Fred Wilson, hi Tammy, from the high country, is in North Arizona. No audio movement in New York. I'll keep Arizona. Okay, that's fair enough. Now, what else we got to say? I love the effect. Spike Burrow said, I love the effect and thought process. You make your own weather and mood. Well, you do. I think, see, this painting here, now let's go and put some waves in there, right? Let's bring it down to something we know. We've done waves before. So what I'm going to do. So I'll move this up to there now. Can that sit there? Yes, that sits there. Right. So we're going to put a wave in there to put the sun. I've got a figure I'm going to put in there, which of course needs. Now this is why. There's the figure I'm going to use. Now it's a very romantic one. That her name is Annette Hurd. Well, Annette was about 21 then, and that was about 30 years ago. So there you are. I'll bet some of you girls out there look just like that 30 years ago, or even 10 years ago, or maybe you look just like that now. If you do, rush out, tell someone to take a photograph of you just like that, and you've got yourself a wonderful piece of reference material. We're going to use now. So what am I going to use? Let's go back. Let's go back to the. Here we go again. Can we control it? Well, we need a little bit of green in that. So here we go. See, you see the water, that's almost a tropical equatorial colour of water. And it's not going to fit with that sky. So we've got to bring a bit of the light red in. There we go. Now blend it. we'll find that we've got enough of a little bit of an area there to suggest a horizon. I'm pushing that colour up and down and just moving them in and out. Okay, now let's put the wave in. Let's put a bit of a wave in. Well, there we go. This is going to be interesting to see what happens when you put yellow ochre and... Here we go. I need to take some of this colour up here and run it down into here. Hang on, just get... Okay. Let's first of all get a little bit of a... Let's find our grade for the underside of the waves and so on. And we'll put a bit of a wave rolling over here. Those of you in the art group will be doing one like this. This is the next step, and we're going to look at the mechanics of a wave. I'm not going to get too involved in it. I don't want to get locked down into all the what the purists want to analyse all of it. I'm sick and tired of people who posture about this and that. And so, oh, there's only one way of doing this and there's only one way of doing that. And if you don't do it that way, then you're an idiot or something. Well, no, there are multiple ways of killing a cat. Let's see if we can get that colour here. Let me run that across. We'll pick out a few little waves in there in a moment. Put in our we need a grey for the well, there we go. That's a bit different, folks. That's certainly different. Let's put in a we want to run that on a nice dark under where the wave picks up. More of that. Okay. Well, now that looks like a bit of a wave so far. You see how I did that? I don't know how I did it actually. Whatever, it looks okay. I sort of put in a colour, then now I'll take this, I've got to get some sand in there. So here we go, sticking to our mothers. And we're going to get a little bit of something coming through that wave. Okay, well that's different. Now let's put a bit of we'll find some light in there where it's actually rolling over. One in the distance back there. Here. Okay. Well, there we are. We've got something that looks like a wave now. Now we're going to put some sand in the front here. This will be, of course, we're repeating these lovely colours, so this palette is working. I just lost that nice bit of pink in there. I'll get it back. It'll come back, folks. Don't you panic. We'll be panicking soon when if we don't hit our number for that magnifier, I'll tell you that. That might be the cause for me to retire once and forever for good. And I'll just make them out of bottles. Now there we are, we've got something that looks like a beach. Something that looks like a beach scene. That's not too bad. What do you think of that? Well, now let me go over and have a look who's talking to us. I'll just go in front of there. Jock, you have a look at that. Now let's have a look. What do we got there? So what do we got here? Marianne Burrows, I have been to that place. Well, there you go. It works. Marianne said she's already been there. All right. Well, I'd like to go there, actually, Marianne. It does look awesome. Put some flowers in it. Well, there you go. Dave Sharpie. Now, Dave wants flowers in there. Well, that might say something about our mate Dave. Dave is either being facetious or he's being a sharpshooter. If he's a sharpshooter and he's sort of he's that mentally fragile, then good and well. But if he's just being facetious, never mind. Anyhow, a constructive opinion. Thank you, Dave. Like to meet you, mate. Judy McCagran. Hi, Judy. And who else? Julie Steinhauer and White. Lots there. Laura. What else we got there? Could I only dream to paint like that, Bev, Jen said. Well, you can, just follow what I do, Bev. Do you use phthalo blue for the sea too, Marcella? Yes, I did put phthalo blue in there. I put phthalo blue, and I've had to go back to the light red, remember, because the phthalo blue is just too crispy, too dinky, too unreal. You needed to get that grey in there. You see, a good painting comes out of grey. And what we're fighting to achieve here with these colours is a sense of good order, a sense of reality. Maggie May, love watching me paint, that's fine. Spike Bro, love the effect and thought process. You make your own weather and mood. Yeah, the grey made all the difference. Well, the grey does make a huge difference. You need to have that grey in there, folks, because without that, you're really having trouble. Fred Wilson, thanks. Want to see how the wave comes along. Well, Fred, I'll come do more on that later. But at the moment, we've got a structure in there. So what I'll do now is get the little brush, and I'll find some little dark areas in those waves. So, dark areas. So we've got to go back to our mother colours, which is, we've got no problem about getting a good dark here because we've got that permanent rose and yellow ochre. That'll give us a brown. There we go. I'm just going to run a couple of lines through here, and that'll quickly turn into a beach. Well, now that, if I put a couple of, just a little bit of here, see how just by adding a little bits of foam there to indicate that there's a roll of waves coming up in there. Okay. while it's still wet, I'm going to just think about this figure. It's a girl sort of looking out to sea. So I'm going to put her in about there. I want to keep this part here. I'll have her standing here, almost in the middle, but it doesn't matter because the rules are the rules, but the rules, if something is out of balance at the end, there's a problem. But if it's out of balance midway through, it doesn't matter because we have tools to bring balance back. And that's what we have. In my way of painting, we have those tools, and that's it. Follow me or don't follow at all. Honestly. I'd love to meet that guy about the flowers. I'd like to take him out the back of the hotel, have a talk to him. Okay, Jock, here we go. Let's put this figure in. So here's the magnifier. This is the one we're going to sell you for $35. You believe me? Well, no. It'll be professionally made with a good barrel here, about 1.5 centimetres thick. Strong, sturdy, can bounce it on the floor, it won't break. It's constructed, the design has got ribs in it, so there's corners, semi-corners to make it strong, so it's not flexible. It's about that high, the entire thing. There's my hand, so it's not very big, but it's perfect. It's got a nice big lens to it, the same as that. So it covers a good part, but it doesn't cover just one part. It covers enough so that I can calibrate the value of one part I'm looking at against another part. And that's the important thing in this. If you get another loupe, another magnifier that's say 5 times, even 4 times the magnification, it is too much. It's not doing what you want the magnifier to do. I want to look at an area. Where's my chalk? I'll get my chalk and go to the board. I want to look at an area through the magnifier. If it's a shoulder, the girl's shoulder with the hair up here, other shoulder here, and the dress goes down like that, and an arm here. Right. If I'm looking at this, there's a slight change in value here around her spine area. If I want to look at that value there, I want to calibrate that according to that, and then according to this arm over here. I want to measure the value of one against the other. It's 3 times magnification does this. I've got enough of an embrace area to be able to calibrate one against another. A 5 times brings me right in on that. And that's too much. That's too much of a magnification because I can't measure that and that against that one. Right? So we need to look at an area sufficiently big enough to keep good order in the way we move our values up and down. And you know my method, right? You're familiar with the method, right? You lay in your colours, right? For the setting and for the subject, then we start to go up from our middle values, up and down and down. Well, to do that and that, to go up and down, we need the magnifier. And we need to be able to do this. And that's why that barrel, about 3 inches across, or 2.5 inches across, is perfect. It covers enough of a photograph, enough of any material to be able to get that value calibration, that value variation across a sufficiently big enough area, right? So those of you who think that this may not be needed, good luck to you. Those of you who want to progress and who want to maybe listen to 40 years of a professional artist at work every day, dealing with this, dealing with the problem of doing good paintings from material, right? Not just looking outside, but also taking back from outside reference material, then you need this. If you ignore this, then you're at your own peril, right? And even our flower mate, if he wants to paint decent flowers, which he possibly might be his thing, right? You never know. I've met a few sort of daisy type people in my life. Maybe he would like to have one of these to help him with his flowers. There we are. Statement made, carry on. So, I'm now going to put the magnifier over the photograph. I'm going to place in the girl's dress first. Now, she's in the middle. You say, oh no, it's in the middle. Don't panic, folks. There'll be other things. I might put another figure over here, and then a flurry of seagulls flying up that way. Let's see. We can also tweak the sky more. At the moment, the balance is the weight is over here because of this big clump. Let's put this in. There's the blue. And she's got a blue dress on. So we've got to pull that blue dress out of. Gee, it takes a fair bit to knock that blue back. Okay. Well, that's not too bad, Robert. That's not too bad, Robert. As my mother used to say. Good lad, Robert. That was an interesting story too. I was told that when I started to paint that it was a waste of time. They said, why are you throwing your education away? Well, I had to get an education by winning it, actually, the truth be known. I had to compete for a scholarship, which I duly got. Well, there's the shoulder coming down there. She's got this nice... I haven't used the magnifier yet. I will in a moment. I'm just getting the sort of idea right, and I'll look at the size of things. She's holding a hat there, by the way. So that comes out there in relation to here. So I'm looking, where does that come out? Back of the dress there. Those of you might say, oh, he's got the light coming the wrong way. No, he hasn't. It's not finished. So don't be too quick to rush to judgment, folks. Wait till a painting is finished before you start criticising. Because I know many people will wait and see and say, oh yeah, I see what he's doing now. Yeah, that works. Now I'm getting into trouble. Okay. So it goes in like that there, and then it comes out from her hip, and down we go. And then there's a couple of marks in here. And then up we go. There's a lace, looks like there's a bit of lace coming down there. And about here we've got a fold, I don't know, what do you call that? The girls will know what that's called. It's like a series of tiers, a series of levels in the dress. I must check my dress to see if I've got some. This is my dress, actually. This is my dress. Never got into it myself, but... Okay, now for a bit of skin colour. Well, here we go, skin colour. Well, let's just see, we might be able to do it. yellow ochre and a bit of the permanent rose and a little bit of white. Yep, that might do it. Might do it. I'm using the magnifier now just to see, pick my way up into her face. Face comes about there. So Linda, in the UK, when we do our workshop, we will get a model and we'll have some dresses, and I'll show you how we set these all up. So we'll take it, while I'm there, we will get our own material. We'll all get our own material, guaranteed, and that's the beauty. So at my workshop, we're going to come away with not just how to do something, but with a go-ahead plan. With a go-ahead plan. So that you go away knowing that you can paint more, and you'll be able to do figurative paintings like I'm doing. Okay, now it's to do the hair. See if we can get that up there. We need a dark brown. We've got a dark brown, all right. There we go. There we go. And we'll see what we can do here. Darker. Okay, so we've got a figure in there now. Not finished, but it's a start. Whether the proportions are right or wrong is another matter. But we're going to find out in a moment. But there you see me use the magnifier. You see me use the magnifier. So let's see what we've got over here now. Connie Pace, and I'm so excited to go for the workshops in the UK. Are you going, Connie, are you? Wonder how it goes with TSA and transporting paint from the plane. Look, I've taken paints on a plane. They carry on, they really do carry on. I mean, I remember leaving through San Diego a couple of times and they said, no, you can't take that, you can't take that. I say, but look, it's not, doesn't say inflammable. Right? Doesn't matter. Rule. Okay. Bob your head. Stay under the gunfire. Is it possible to get dropped in case of how you're holding the photo against the magnifier? How you're moving it? Yeah. Let's look through this here quickly. Roseanne wants to see how that part here, over here, I was talking over here, John. Right? Look through there. Now what you're seeing is what I could see. And you see how I'm holding it. The photograph, that's how old this photograph is. It's over 30 years old. It's a small one. It's 3 inches by 4 inches. But you see how easy it is to hold that. And I can move it by just shifting my back fingers. By moving my back fingers, I can reposition it each time. I can go from the top and hold it like that. I go like that, like that. I can move the photograph around. So it doesn't really matter. And it's easy. So your fingers naturally pop into that position because you're closing your hand. So it's not a case of having to teach your hand how to behave at all. It's a natural thing. It's just doing that. You pick it up the top of your thumb at the front, your back 4 fingers here, and then here we go. And just move it around with your move the top fingers or the back fingers, either one. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could always just put a little bit of masking tape here to hold it there, so you hold it in one spot all the time. But you need to be able to move it around so that you've got that calibration going on all the time of values. All right? You need to do that. So now I use that to do this. If I didn't have that, how would I go? Well, I wouldn't be as good. It wouldn't be as good. Her hair needs more hair up there, so I'm just looking at this now. It's got to come out there more. She's a little bit small in the head at the moment. That's easily done, easily fixed. Now, let me go back over here, Jock, and I'll have a look what they're saying over here again. Yeah, so Connie, you're going to the one in the UK. That'll be interesting. It'll be good to meet you, see, because you're painting well. You are painting very well, and you don't need much more. You just need you need me to open up a few other doors for you on how to find that nice end result. And really not much after that. It's just confidence and building up and building your way forward so that you've got a good assembly of material to work from, and you know how to generate that material. That's the other thing that I'll teach you. There's a lot of little things that I do before I get to the painting stage, and you need to have those. You need to know what that is. Some of us are not capable of appreciating this sort of thing. This is John Carrick. Is this John the Flower Man? Well, if you're not capable of appreciating this sort of thing, well, maybe you shouldn't be here. Maybe you should go and appreciate something else, somewhere else, at another, not at this time, occupy my time, because I don't tolerate fools lightly. There we go. Great to get you live. Kevin Kenny. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Robert. Glad you're up and about. Yes, I am. Got a sore toe, but never mind. Beauty of oil wipe. Yes, that's the one thing about Mary Ann Burrows said. The one thing about oils is you can wipe them off. I was speaking to a good friend of mine, Terry Dodd, the other day. Terry has written over 100, or ghost-written over 100 art books. She's the best in the world. She's the best in the world. Those of you who know International Artist magazine, Terry was the editor for that. And Terry said to me, she said, Bob, I don't understand why watercolours have got the gravity they have. She said, oils are so much better. You know, she said, you're one of the best at it. But she said, oils are so much better than watercolours. Well, they are. They've got their own particular look and feel about them. And the trouble with watercolours is that they're on a substrate, on a paper, which over time just disintegrates. Right? Whereas oil paint, the pigment doesn't change, but it becomes brittle in time as well. So watercolour's got a lovely look to it, but it's the permanency of everything that's the trouble. And honestly, oil paint is easy to use. As Mary Ann said, well, you just wipe it on, wipe it off. That's right, Mary Ann. So there we are. Cody Richard, definitely not a Louisiana beach. No, it wouldn't be. I don't know what sort of beach it would be, Cody. Mag in May, yes, I'm using oil paint. Mitch Ora, whoa, it looks better than anything I can paint. Okay, there we go. Mary Ann, I've been to that place, there we go. Okay then. Okay. There we go. How are we going for time, John? How long have we got to go there? Let me have a look. 11:08. I might put it. Well, let's have a look at this. Let me pick out a bit more here. Now I'll start to look hard at this a little bit, but I really want to go into, there are a lot of little ruffles and things in here. Little subtleties that I can see that this sort of work now, the tedious part, is you see, I'm just picking away by using the magnifier, right? You see these little subtleties now that I'm putting in here? Now these things you wouldn't see, but together they make for the final look. And they're only small things, but they're so important. They really are important. these folds in the dress. They're not just a line, but there's lines that are intersecting, and there's subtleties as we move around her waist. There are lines that are more driven. Back over here. And where are the highlights here? And my eye's right on the magnifier here. Back over. That's right, Jock. Jock might be able to see how close I am to this magnifier. Sorry, Jock, I've got to go back again there. Right. I've got to go back again. I've got to pick up this. I'm looking for a real light. Now, here we go. So you can see I'm just building up there, folks. Jock will show you what I've done there. If you look in there, Jock, you'll see exactly how that. So yeah, people might say, well, you don't need a magnifier. Well, if you don't need one, then why have I got one? If I've been painting for 40 years, I've been successful at it, there's reasons for that success. It's not just because I've got a feel for paint. It's not just I can draw easily. It's not just I can mix easily. It's also the tools that I've adapted to make the process doable and easily doable. We don't want to struggle. I don't want to have to fight in order to find detail. I want the detail to be clear and obvious and available. And that's what this magnifier does. So I'm telling you that, I'm pushing it hard because we've got to get to our figure. Those of you who think maybe that I'm looking for too much money, well, let me answer you by saying this. If we make 1,000 of these and I send them all out, ship one by one by one, right? What do you think the cost of shipping is going to be? Well, let me tell you this, folks. It's going to be at least $10 each. So there's $10,000 straight off the bat. That brings us down to $25,000. The mould for just the barrel is $10,000. That brings us down to $15,000. Right? We haven't got the lens yet. We haven't got the holding. We haven't got the mount at the top. We haven't got the box made yet. Okay. We haven't got the instructions made yet. We haven't got the cleaning cloth nor the fluid. So we've got $15,000 to get the lens. The lens is around about $2.50. So there's $1,000. There's another $2,500. So we're now down to $12,500. Right? So when you whittle this down, and then I've got to fly over there and do it. All right. I'm not putting money in my pocket, folks. Can I tell you that? And so we'll try to wait and see if we can get there. So whatever you can do to help drive it up, go ahead. And one of the offers now, my two boys come, they said, Dad, they will do a painting, and I showed you the painting that's underway at the moment that they've got a commission for, and that's a 1.5 metre by 1.5 metre painting. It's a nice big one. But they're offering to do a 50 inch by 50 inch painting in their unique style, in their unique way of painting, along with one of my paintings, like that 30-40 one here, which was going to go and still will go unless it goes off on this particular promotion. That one, or another 30 by 40 for $4,800. And that is a dead set steal. Now someone said, honestly, that when I wrote that this would normally be $12,000 in a gallery, and that's what it sells for, $12,000, right? And I'm offering for $4,200 last week for 3 days. Well, that was a good offer, right? What more can you? If someone said you can buy something, $12,000 over there, $4,800, $4,200 here, you'd buy that one. I need to explain that again. Yeah, that would go into a gallery framed up with all the bells and whistles on it for $12,000 or thereabouts, say $1,000 either way, right? That's what it sells for. So if I'm offering it for $4,200, it's fairly plain that that is the price I'm offering for that period of time, for 3 or 4 days. Right? So whoever gets confused about that is beyond me. All right? There's no accounting for mentality. That one and the one of the boys, and the boys have put that up for $4,800. So they're going to do one for, it looks like $600, which is, well, that's pretty good. Anyhow, it's for about 3 or 4 days, whatever the offer is. So if you want 2 good paintings by the Hagan, me, father, and the 2 boys, you got it. It'll be a unique opportunity, folks, I'll tell you. Anyhow, there we go. Sheila Randall, can't wait to go. She wants the Magnifier. Well, we're going to have the Magnifier in England. When I do this show over there, we'll all have it by then, I'll tell you. And we'll all be using it. And all the ones who are going to be in the workshop are going to pour out of that workshop, and they're going to be exactly zinged in the head by what they've learned. And they're going to be firing on like crazy, I tell you. So they've got together and organised that workshop. If you want me to go to a workshop, I'll do one. Put your groups together, or have someone there organise it, and I'll turn up. Loretta Swiss, this is the first time I've watched. So far it's very good. Well, so far I'm going to go out in a moment, so I'm glad you turned up, I'm glad you enjoy it, and so on. Barbara, just hope to hold that Magnifier in my hand one day, you will. The greys and the real mother colour support the local colours. Connie Payson, the greys of the real mother colour palette support the local colours like the accent colours. They do. It's very, very expensive no matter what size you send it. If you're an artist and sell paintings, you would know that. Yes, I do know that. The ship's captain's wife's waiting for his return. She's waiting for the return of her lost love, said Karen. I love Jan Nefelder. Connie, I love Sargent's work as well, but I wouldn't be here if I didn't hold Robert in high regard. I've learned so much well, Sargent's work was brilliant. I mean, Sargent, don't get me wrong, everyone going back to Renoir used photographs. So the purists out there who want to dirty the waters by saying, oh, you know, photographs are some sort of travesty of ethics. Well, they can go and get stuffed because they don't know anything. Those people sit on the fence, they sit quietly in a corner, dark corner, and they talk to themselves, right? I have no truck with those people whatsoever. Either a spade's a spade or get out of town. Marcella, I notice every time you paint a white horse, a white dress or something white, your shadow colour or base colour is always a light blue first. Yes, it is. It is always a light blue. It's a light blue. It's a light blue with me going into a cool, into warm as well in there. You'll find I've got a bit of mauve in there. So I go, but the overall effect is a light blue. You're correct, Marcella. Well done. I love this dress, Karen. Well, I do too. Your painterly story of Singer Sargent. Singer Sargent was huge. I mean, he was magnificent. He was interpretive. He was inspirational. He had a deft hand. He had a deft eye. He had control of the subject from the very get-go to the end. He had total and utterly masterly control. So there we are. All right, I'm going to leave you now, folks, and look forward to seeing you again. and I'll finish this painting off most likely. There's one that's finishing at the moment, the option one, wherever it is. It's rolled up. It's rolled up over there ready to go. So there you go. There's a couple of things on there at the moment. If you belong to an art group, then tell the art group to buy the box of these magnifiers, right? You get 10 of them, and that's really the best way to go if you are in a group. Or if you're a teacher, then do that. You know, just buy a box of them, because you will use them, guaranteed. You will absolutely use them. You're not going to get them again, so it's a one-off sort of offer. After this, I think I'll just give up trying to do things, because it's just too hard. But those of you who are supporting, listen, you're great. You really are great. Those of you who are sitting on the fence, get off the fence and support it, okay? To the artist group, to my art group, on Monday I'll be sending out the next lesson, and we're going to look at the waves, and we're going to go ahead and develop our painting from the sky down to the waves next. And we're going to march ourselves forward to the end of the painting. So you'll all end up with a good painting. I'm not going to go quick, I'm going to go along slowly, so I'm giving you plenty of time between lessons, all right? So I'm not belling you forward on the back of the head to get a move on. I just want you to find your time, at your leisure, to catch up and stay with me. So we've got the sky to do, and that should be all, you should all just about have done that by now, okay? And all in the art group, I'm sure you've all got the Magnifier ordered, and there's some instructions on there that Roseanne and Rita have put up about how to check or confirm your order, so on. So there we are, and I'm going to say goodbye. You have a great weekend, and enjoy your weekend, enjoy your loved ones, and play with your dog and talk to your dog, because they're our best friends. If you've got a horse, take your new bow to your horse. If the horse doesn't like him, he's no good. I'll see you again on Tuesday, on whatever the next schedule is, okay? So you take good care, and happy painting. Ah.